Okay. Alright. Ooh. The camera's a lot closer than I'm used to it being. Anyways, so this is going to be the project report for August as well as July. I was trying to film it in my nice new craft room, but there's a man outside who is sawing things, and we don't begrudge him that. He's also doing crafts. He's building something, probably for his house, but he will not stop. So we're here now on my bed, which I made just for y'all. We got Mitski here. Mitski! And we're going to go over it. It's going to be pretty quick because I don't have that much to show. So, actually I'm really hungry. Let me eat a little bit of my breakfast first. Why are it burnt? I'm not going to do that. It's going to mess up my makeup. I don't even know why I put makeup on. I mean, know why, because it matched my shirt. This is my Nordiska shirt. It's more like a t-shirt, but I really like it, and it's sort of apropos because it's also made out of a linen blend, and it's a summer-y top, and I've made something like that again today. So I have been continuing work on my Brioche cardigan, but we're not going to talk about that right now because I'm bored of it. Basically I got to the sleeves and then I said, I hate this. I hate Brioche sleeves. So let me cast on a new project so I don't get, you know, completely falling off the knitting bandwagon again. So I went through, and as you might know, I did make my big order of yarn from Grenoico in February, and I'm not allowed to buy any more yarn until I work through that. And some of the stuff I bought there was specifically going to be for a summer top. I bought a fingering weight linen wool blend. And so my plan for that was to make a Moonless tank by Jacqueline Ciziak. And I did that. So I was on vacation for the last week. I was in Gaspé and we had to drive like 10 hours. Though actually on our way up there we drove 18 hours because of problems. I left my bag in Kamouraska and we had to go back and get it. So I had lots of knitting time, and this is just pure stockinette, back and forth. So it was really easy to do, and I made it in pretty much a little bit over a week. I'm not 100% done because it's not finished. It's not seamed together on both sides. I did the mattress stitch this morning, and I was annoyed because this pattern easily could be in the round, but it's not, because it's meant to have the option of doing one color and another color on both sides, which would look pretty nice, but I only had the one color, and again, I'm not allowed to buy more yarn. So I think if I knit another one in the future and it's the same, just monocolor, I will modify it to be in the round, because like this could have been an email. But it does look really nice, and I think if I make another, it will be duotone, so I'll have to do the mattress stitch. I don't like mattress stitch, but I was able to get a pretty nice mattress stitch. I was patient with myself, and I blocked it out before I did the seaming, which I think helped a lot. But then I got to the top, and the top is not made for mattress stitch. You're supposed to seam the shoulder together as well, but you know, with mattress stitch you want to seam this together with this on the other side, but this is not. That's not what this is. It's the top. It's the tops of the stitches. So I said, oh fuck it. Let me just whip stitch it together. And I did that, and it looks horrible. It looks horrible. It looks so bad. And obviously I haven't stuck this together, but it looks so bad. So I'm gonna undo that and open up the internet and figure out how to do it properly. This is why I do patterns almost exclusively that are not like pieced together at the end. By the time I'm done knitting a project, I don't want to seam it together. But I am going to seam it together. I'm going to finish that today, and it does look very cute. So I can preview it. So it's going to look something like that. It is I love this fabric. I love linen blends. I love linen blends. I need to make a lot more things with linen blends. This is very much the type of thing where, like, if you bend over, you're gonna see some nipple. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm fine with that. I have a lot of clothes like that. I know how to move so that I don't accidentally flash everybody. But I do think that for most people, they might be, you know, they might want to make this increase a little bit shorter so that you have a bit more of a strip going along that way, so it's a little bit bigger, and a little bit more coverage. I knit this in the size 5. Normally I knit things in size 6s, so it's definitely not because I made it too big. I did a gauge swatch. It's a very good, perfect gauge. I did have to go down a needle size, which, you know, is the story of my life because I'm a really loose knitter. But it's to gauge, it's to schematic, so, you know, it's just made for a little peekaboo. I do actually think that it's made to be a layering piece to put on top of other things more than just like raw dog it like this. But I will definitely wear it like that. Because who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? It's going to be lovely. I'm really excited, and I'm going to finish that today. Hopefully. So that's what I was doing while taking a break from my petite knit Agnete cardigan. But now it's pretty much done, and I am ready to jump back in. So we've got the entire body of the cardigan done, and it is so the stitches are held together because they were slip siding everywhere, so ignore that. I can't completely show it, and it is inside out because of the way I do the sleeves. But boom, hold on, boom, isn't it pretty? The color, I'm still in love with this color. Oh, it is so good. This violet opal, I love it. So I made, I believe only 3, yeah, I made only 3 buttonholes, and that's okay because I like a cropped cardigan, but I also wanted to make sure I didn't run out of yarn. So we're gonna do this, we're gonna do the sleeves, because it's very important to me that sleeves are not too short, otherwise I hate wearing them because it's like, this is just, it's touched my wrist. I need it to be like here. So I'm gonna do that, and then I will maybe add a 4th buttonhole if I feel like it. But I have this much yarn and then a whole other skein left, and I have the 2 because I'm doing the alternating again so that we don't get any big color blotches. Hi, Mitski. But that is a pain in the butt. So when I was knitting the body, it's a piece of back and forth flat. So basically I would do a row, and then I would come back, and then I would switch yarns, and then do a row and come back and switch yarns, and it was super easy to keep track of. But now that we're in the round on sleeves, and that meant that there was like the yarn would creep up the side of the piece, no problem. But now that we're in the round, look at this. Look at this shit. First of all, I do not have the right size needle. Not needle, sorry. Wire. I'm using interchangeable Chiagu needles. I can't remember why I splurged on that. I didn't have the right size circulars, and I needed something very large to do the body of it, so I figured I might as well start investing in these really good quality circular interchangeable needles, so that, because I have like 50 fixed circular needles, but I still seem to never have the right ones. So if I have some tips and some cords, I can mix and match them and hopefully actually have what I need instead of having to go to the store every time I start a new project. So, but I'm not going to the store. I'm not buying more shit. So this is what we're working with. This. And I realized very quickly, because the way it's instructed, you're knitting it with the right side on the outside. and that meant that the yarn, as I was like, the 2 balls of yarn were traveling up on the inside of the knit, and it was a nightmare because it would go through the sleeve and then it would come out, and they're getting constantly tangled up because it was horrible. So I realized pretty quickly I had to start over entirely, and I had to flip the whole thing inside out. So that's what I'm doing. So now you can see that the yarn travels up. So when I get to this point, I switch, and I do that every single round. So I go around one, and then I switch, and then I go around one, and then I switch. And it is a lot more annoying because I find it really finicky to put stitch markers into brioche, because sometimes there's a yarn over and then sometimes there's not. Every round you're switching between brioche knit and brioche purl. So I kind of just have to remember when it's time to switch. It is obvious when you get to that point because suddenly the pattern that you've been following doesn't make sense anymore. But a couple of times I have fucked up, and you can actually see over here, it's pretty obvious where there is a row where I forgot to switch from brioche knit to brioche purl, or the other way around, and so I have one round early on in my sleeve that looks bad, but thankfully this is the outside, this is the inside, and for whatever reason, you know, due to brioche magic that I don't understand, it's much less noticeable on the outside because it's a knit where a purl should be on the outside, and pearls just stand out a lot more. So you can see it on the inside, but it's not so bad on the outside, and so I decided not to go back and fix it because this takes so long. I was probably working on it for like 3 hours last night, and I got this much done. And just the management of this whole situation is a pain in the butt. But like I said, we're gonna do it. You know, what did the old ladies do back in 1920 when they didn't have a local yarn store to go buy every single fancy piece of... We're just gonna make do. We're gonna make do. We're gonna get through it, and we're gonna feel accomplished for it. And then maybe for Christmas I'm gonna ask for a set of interchangeable needles rather than just buying them one by one. Those things are expensive though. So that's really it. That's it for knitting. I'm gonna work on this. I do think that I constantly need to have a second project, otherwise I'm gonna get so fucking sick of this Agnete cardigan. So Simon's sister did have her baby recently, well actually a couple months now, and I haven't made him his stuffy yet, so I'm gonna do that. I think the plan is still to make it a bat, but I have to make sure, I have to go through my yarn and see what cotton colors I have and figure out what makes sense, because I'm trying not to buy stuff, and then I still really want to make another version of the curio collar, probably in like a gauze, maybe just like a black, or for some reason like I'm feeling a really dark blue. I made the curio collar in like white and mint, and I like it, but those are not actually my colors. I don't wear those very much, so I don't wear it very much. But I actually I went and got a rat tattoo. Oof, can we see it? A clown rat tattoo by Endless Carousel. They were doing a guest spot at Sacrilege in Montreal, and I wore my curio collar to match the clown, and I got lots of compliments on it, so I was very proud of that. So yeah, so that's it for knitting. Otherwise, I already spoke about how I was really working a lot on my house last time, but actually I did kind of lose my mind and rearrange this space as well, my living room / bedroom, and it's a bit messy, so I'm not going to show it to you, but I did go onto SketchUp and measure every single wall of my house, and then, or this room, and then make a mock-up of it in SketchUp with the little furniture and plan how I wanted to do it. So I'll show that here. Except that the problem was that I can't count and I measured wrong. So I thought in my SketchUp plan that it was much wider than it actually is. And I was looking at it and I was like, oh, that looks actually really nice. Like, why haven't I done that before? And then at 8 p.m. at night, I gave myself 1 hour to do this big move, and then I had to stop because I'm a bad neighbor, but I don't want to be that bad of a neighbor. And I moved things around, and there was not enough. There's like, we're close to the wall. The wall is right behind the camera here. There's not much space for anything besides the bed. And I was like, whoo. Okay, so my camera died, so I had to take a break and eat some food. But I'm back and we're almost done, I promise. So what was I talking about? I don't remember. Anyways, the only other thing I don't have it to show you because they're really small, but when I was in, I'll put pictures up, but when I was in Gaspé, we obviously spent a lot of time just looking at shiny rocks. And I found some really nice, tiny shards of sea glass that I brought home, as well as tiny shards of shell and coral, and a couple of nice stones, even one little hag stone. So I wanted to try my hand at turning that into some jewelry. I don't have plans yet. I have to sort of figure out what I want to make and then how I make that. I don't think I'm going to be taking a jewelry making course, honestly. My sister self-taught herself silversmithing, just from like YouTube and guides and stuff like that online, and I don't know, I feel like if I take a course I'm gonna have to make some specific things, and it might make sense to, you know, for a learner to learn that foundational stuff, but I don't want to do that. I just want to jump ahead and make a couple of things and then move on to a new hobby. And my sister does have some tools, so I might be able to borrow hers if it's what I need to make what I want to make. But again, first I have to figure out what I want to make, which means doing the work instead of just thinking about doing the work. But I think I want to make like a little necklace with some little like teardrop sea glass, maybe like a little seashell plus a little sea glass. I don't know. I feel like I've been getting a little bit more into jewelry lately. I did get these earrings, which not impressed because they come off like that and the patina's already coming off. But anyways, I'm gonna make my own jewelry and then I won't be able to complain about it because I will have made it and all problems will be my own. So that's it. I said I was going to finish my top today, but I did just realize that now I have to edit and post this video, which always takes me a long time, but if I don't do it, I'm not going to do it. So that's it. Alright, I hope I was in focus the whole time. If not, I'm not redoing this. Okay, bye.